All right, what up, Nerd Squad? Thanks for stopping back in. Today we are doing our no bullshit assessment on Wandavision. Episodes 1 and 2. There's only 2 episodes that got released so far going into the weekend. I'm not going to do a full-on episode breakdown and kind of fill you in on how the episodes went, everything that was involved in them. I'm just going to give you, again, my assessment of what I thought, how I felt about it moving forward. What does it kind of lead to? Things that I've kind of noticed, some of the stuff that I've picked up from some other videos, stuff of that nature. There will be probably some spoilers, as always. So if you have not seen it yet or you're holding out to see it, go watch one of the previous videos before you jump into this and then come back once you've seen it. Let me know what you think, how you thought the first 2 episodes went. Are you excited for the next 7 episodes? And I'm not even sure what the release schedule is looking like for this. I don't know if it's 2 a week or 1 a week after this because the first 2 came out together. But anyway, let's jump right into this. I'm not going to take up a whole lot of your time. Thank you guys for stopping in. So WandaVision. I was a little hesitant for this when I started seeing some of the ads for it and some of the trailers and stuff. I didn't get a whole lot from it, and I also didn't do a deep dive into it. It wasn't something that I was super excited for. It wasn't something that I took the time to really figure out what are they doing here. All I knew from the trailers and previews and stuff was that it kind of had a bit of an old-timey feel to it, much like an old TV show from the 60s and 70s and so on and so forth. So I wasn't really super excited about it. I wasn't really sure going into it what it was all going to be about. But it's Marvel stuff, so it couldn't be all bad, right? So, of course, I checked it out. I watched it last night. Both episodes back to back. They're not very long, so it's not going to eat up a lot of your time. But my overall assessment on this last night when I watched it was not good. I was not thrilled with it. I thought it was kind of boring. It was hard to keep me in it. It was hard to keep my attention. There were a lot of times I found myself jumping on my phone and goofing around. I was like, I need to pay attention. I'm going to miss stuff and whatever. And so it, for me, was a struggle to stay focused on it. That being said, if I had made this video last night, I probably would be tearing this thing down for the most part because it didn't come off as that enjoyable to me. I did go back through this morning and check it out again. And leading up to making the video, I jumped online to see what are the people saying, what are some of the breakdowns, what did they see that I didn't see. I will say, coming out of watching them the second time around, I liked it a lot more than I did when I first watched it. Initially for me, it just was kind of slow. It was kind of boring. Obviously, if you've seen the trailers, you can tell it's definitely set to be like an old TV show style from like the 60s. They very, very much play on a lot of the sketch type comedy stuff you'd see from Dick Van Dyke's show, I Love Lucy, Bewitched, a lot of those classic TV shows, which isn't bad. It's just not, it's a pretty specific taste. So looking at it in that light, I wasn't thrilled with it. But when I really started to do the deep dive into this whole thing and really figure out what's going on here, this is kind of where everything changed. And I think it's important that if you're going into this hesitant or if you watched it and you're not really thrilled about it, take some time and jump online. There are some absolutely phenomenal videos that do the full deep dive breakdown, all the Easter eggs, all the stuff you may have missed or didn't understand. Take a look at those. Screen Crush does a great one. The Nerdist has a great one. Heavy Spoilers put together a really good one. Those were a couple that I watched that really brought this back home for me. This really definitely kind of pulled me back in and got me more excited moving forward. I will say, like I said, the first 2 episodes definitely are building up to something. You can tell. From what I gather, the premise of this, obviously, I think is that, more in my opinion, the events that took place in Avengers with Wanda losing Vision had such an effect on her that she was forced to create an alternate existence, or whatever you want to call it, where she's there with Vision and they're trying to live this all-American dream, happy family lifestyle thing. And it's like a side realm type of thing. And you can tell there's a lot of things that happen throughout the episodes that really hint at like there's more going on. She hears things that you can, kind of tell are coming from an external source and stuff like that. So it very much feels like she has put together what she would perceive as the, all-American family lifestyle. And it's largely based probably off of TV shows that she would have watched as a kid. So that I think is where we get the style that we're getting. And I think we're going to continue to see an evolution of the style of show moving forward. And you can see that in some of the previews and trailers that the first couple episodes are black and white. The end of the second one, we see a color fill. So we start to get color, and there's a couple hints at some color during the first episodes, but it's only red, which is fitting because it's Scarlet Witch. So I think we're going to see it evolve over the decades of TV shows. I think that's going to be the trend they move forward with for the remaining episodes, all while kind of playing out what's going on in this universe or realm that I would perceive Wanda has created so that she can be with Vision, who obviously couldn't be brought back when they reversed the snap and did their own snap and stuff like that. So that's my big overall assessment of what's going on here. I know it's kind of, no shit, Sherlock, right? But when you really start to look at this stuff, and this wasn't even from me, this was, like I said, from the videos that I watched from like the Nerdist and some of those other channels that really, really broke these things down. It lets you see how absolutely fantastic the writing and the thought process and just the production of this show is and where it's going to go. This show is an Easter egg hunt. These episodes are jam-packed with the smallest, subtlest details, emblems, icons, lines, phrases. I mean, you name it. This thing you can pick apart almost second by second. And it is just completely filled with throwbacks to comic books, movies, absolutely everything you can think of that has to deal with the history of these two characters. They're including little snippets in. There's characters that we're seeing that we don't know who they quite are yet, but we have a pretty good idea who they might be as we move forward and how that's playing out. Already by the end of episode 2, we see that Wanda has generated or made herself pregnant, which we know from the comics she has twin boys. So they're including everything. And if you can go back and appreciate it for that, for what it is, that the Easter eggs are what are telling this story, the little quippets of humor here and there and stuff, and the way that this show is being filmed and the style of it. If you can get past that, which isn't that hard, it's not super exciting, it's not super action-packed type of stuff. It's very much conversational, very subtle conversations. It's a lot of the overall spectrum stuff you have to pay attention to. And I'll be completely honest, full disclosure, that shit went right over my head. I had no idea most of that stuff because I'm not super, super familiar with the backstories on these two characters as far as going super, super deep into their comic book series and all the different ways that they've been a part of the Marvel universe and stuff like that. So go check those videos out because they will make you appreciate what it is you're watching and what it is you did watch and make you excited moving forward. So that being said, that's kind of my breakdown of it. My assessment of it was boring. It was a little dry for me to get through, but it was until I really learned and saw what was taking place in those episodes, in the first 2 episodes, that I was able to stop and think like, holy shit, like this has something real big lined up. There is enough stuff in here that you can start speculating that this is going to potentially lead to the X-Men. It's potentially going to have something to do with the next Doctor Strange movie. One of the characters in it, I believe they've even said, was like the grown-up version of the little girl from Captain Marvel, who I think turns into, I think her name is Photon. It's unreal, everything that they were able to jam-pack into this show, and that's what sets it apart. So my overall no bullshit assessment starting out on this, I didn't like it. It was dry. It was boring. That being said, I was going to continue watching it. I wasn't going to write it off after the first 2 episodes. I will watch all 9, even if I don't find them super enjoyable, just to see where they're going with this thing. Because, again, I think you have to consider this is going beyond the 9 episodes of this. This is going to lead into the next phase of movies and shows and everything. This is a setup to me. This feels very much like they are setting up a very, very expansive possibilities moving forward, like I said, for TV shows or movies or whatever they're doing. And they're doing it right and they're doing it well. But but I would give it a shot. And I would say that if you felt like I did after you watch it, and it's kind of like, it's kind of dry. It's not really my style of TV show. It's definitely not what you expect from the Marvel Universe. I get it. I'm there with you. But like I said, I cannot stress enough. Go watch The Nerdist and Heavy Spoilers and Screen Crush and any of those other channels that you guys like, your nerd channels. Go to those, see what they're saying about it. Look at the breakdowns, all the Easter eggs, what they mean, what the possibilities are for what's taking place. And I think you actually will probably feel the same way I did, where, man, I'm kind of excited now to see what happens moving forward. And it's making me kind of more inclined to watch it slower, I guess, so that I can start to see if I can figure some of it out on my own. Obviously I probably won't, because like I said, I'm not crazy over the top familiar with these characters like some people are, like as far as the comics go, but I'm on board though. So like I said, my no bullshit assessment was kind of a miss at first, but it's got me hooked in now that I know more about what's going on. So for the first 2 episodes, again, visually and as far as storytelling goes, for me, it was, maybe like a 7 out of 10, but now knowing the full context out of stuff, I would definitely give it an 8 or a 9. Just know going into it, it's not crazy action-packed stuff. This isn't about the over-the-top stuff. This, like I said, this to me is very, very deep storytelling. It's very purposeful. It's the setup. They're setting up a bunch of stuff. So check it out. I don't think you'll be too disappointed. Like I said, if you do the homework and you go through and check out some of the other stuff so you know what's going on more so than I did going into it, I think you'll enjoy it. So I would say check it out. That's kind of my rundown on it. I will definitely put out some more videos as we get more episodes. Again, I don't know if we're getting 2 or 1 at a time or how they're going to start moving forward, but we'll definitely do no bullshit assessments for those moving forward as well. If there's anything you guys specifically want me to break down or go over, let me know. I would be happy to give you a no bullshit assessment on pretty much anything. So hit me up. Check me out on Instagram, Sector 7 Podcast on Instagram. And let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you felt the same way I did about this. Make sure you subscribe, like, do all that stuff. Leave me a comment, all that fun stuff. And we'll catch you in the next one. I thank you guys for stopping in. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, be good to each other, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.